Well, we're back here on CBS Sports Network, HQ Spotlight, and our HQ quiz is in full effect. Our question to you at home is, who did the Chiefs defeat in Super Bowl IV? That's right, Super Bowl IV.
It's throwing me off that it's Super Bowl IV.
I know. I had to take a double take of those Roman numerals for sure. Let this one marinate for a little bit. We'll revisit it on and give you the answer later on in the show. Are the wheels spinning for you a little bit?
I feel like I'm cheating because I know the answer, so yeah, the wheels are spinning.
Okay.
But I hope our viewers at home, the wheels are spinning, because it's a good answer. We'll have another question later in the show, so make sure you write that one down and lock it up. But in the meantime, we are pivoting back to the Super Bowl, talking MVPs, because we've seen some super performances over the years. Our Will Brinson has some of his favorites. You're taking a look here at the top 10 best Super Bowl performances. Tom Brady is on there a handful of times. The current betting favorite this year, Patrick Mahomes, making the cut at number 9 for his big win over Philly a few years ago. But of course, it's the backup, Nick Foles, taking over that top spot. Let's have some fun with our NFL crews. We bring in Will Brinson and, of course, Emory Hunt. And, guys, we're going to go through this list, the top 10 best MVP performances from the lens of our Will Brinson. And, Brinson, it had to be Foles there at that top spot. Even going back and watching this game as a Cowboys fan, it gave me goosebumps. So it had to be number 1, Brinson.
Yeah, no doubt about it. By the way, I would point out, like, if we'd extended this all the way back to Super Bowl IV, and just to give our viewers at home a hint, Lynn Dawson would have gotten something for his halftime performance with the old firing a heater in the locker room. Yeah, look, I was there at that game. It's one of the greatest games I think I've ever seen, right there with Super Bowl 49, the Seahawks and the Patriots. But the atmosphere in Minnesota, everyone had to go into the stadium really early because it was so cold outside. Eagles fans were loose as a goose. They were running around screaming. And then you have Foles, who goes out and throws 373 yards, 3 touchdowns, and interception. And, oh, by the way, catches a touchdown pass with the Philly special, one of the all-time, performances in the Super Bowl. And I think you bump it up because of the magic that's involved. Carson Wentz was going to be the MVP that year, probably, until he tears his ACL in Los Angeles late in the season. Foles has to take over. Everybody writes Eagles off for dead, and he becomes this legendary figure in the history of not just Philly sports, but sports as a whole, by taking down Tom Brady, the GOAT, in just incredible fashion. One of the all-time great games, one of the all-time great performances.
I guess that means we put Nick Foles in the Hall of Fame because he beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, right? I'm just poking at the Giants fans, And listen, I don't have a problem with Nick Foles being rated that high because that was a fantastic game. It was an upset, so it checks all of those boxes. But I would put Tom Brady, who you have number 2, from the 2017 game, the 28-3 game, number 1 because of the comeback, how they came back, how they won that football game. Some of the throws he made in that ball game, for me, was like that. That, to me, was the best performance we've seen in 25 years.
Emory, I want to take that a step further because our producer did tell us that you thought that should be the number 1 play. I mean, 28-3, it still haunts Atlanta to this day. My first question for you, Emory, when it comes to Tom Brady and what he was able to do in that game, we knew who he was, but how much did that performance sort of elevate him to the legacy as we know him now as the greatest player to ever play this game?
I remember watching the game, and instantly after they won the ball game and he made the throw, I was like, man, he cold-blooded. That's exactly what I said. It just reminded me so much. We all grew up watching Michael Jordan. I grew up a Miami Heat fan, and I remember the year, I think it was 96, 97, he had the number 1 seed, and, Tim Hardaway and those guys, they're going to beat the Bulls this time. Man, the Bulls swept these dudes. I'm like, man, why can't Jordan just retire again? Like, I'm sick of looking at him. That's what Tom Brady brings out, that type of emotion, because he's so good in those clutch moments, and that's why every time he has the ball in his hands last, you just know that he is going to lead his team down to win. We're getting that same sense from a Patrick Mahomes.
Will, when you were working on these ratings, how close was it when it came to 1 and 2? Because, I mean, the 28-3, they're like, that's common knowledge when you say that around anywhere. Anyone that kind of knows what it means, but so is the Philly special. So where was the margin for you?
Yeah, I was at that game too, and I had I guess I probably should admit that I had the Falcons against the spread, but I mean, whatever. Like I lost it. Like you're rooting for the Falcons, not no journalistic integrity, just my money on the line. The one thing I thought about when I bumped Brady to 2 there, and I agree, like you could put Brady's performance 1, but I mean, like the reason they were down 28-3 was partially Tom Brady, who threw a pick 6 in the first half, and then in the second half, and immediately following the game, there was actually, people kind of forget this, there was a lot of controversy that Brady was even the MVP. A lot of people thought that Sweet Feet James White, who I believe finished the game with 3 total touchdowns, 110 receiving yards, caught the game-winning score, should have been the MVP with his performance. Some magical moments in that game. The one, too, I would just point out that flies under the radar because they lost. An insane catch by Julio Jones down on the right sideline for the Falcons. You know, Matt Ryan, our colleague Matt Ryan, is up on this list with his performance. He went 17-23, 284 yards, a pair of touchdowns if the Falcons hold on to win the game. So I don't have a problem with putting Brady like at 1. I just think Foles slaying the dragon tops Brady in the miraculous comeback.
No surprise, our producer Boney, who just so happens to be a Patriots fan, disagrees on all of the Patriots slander that you guys have given in this segment so far. So we'll leave it at that.
Woe is me, Patriots. Woe
right,
is me.
like, oh my gosh, the most Super Bowls ever. Let's keep it pushing and talk about another quarterback superstar in his own right, that, of course, being Aaron Rodgers, who won his only Super Bowl, gentlemen, against the Steelers. It feels like it's been a minute since we've even talked about this Aaron Rodgers Super Bowl MVP performance. But Brinson, from your perspective, what makes this moment number 3?
Again, I think that was my first Super Bowl, first year working for CBS, Dallas, the ice storm. Rodgers was just playing at the height of his powers. It was this time of the NFL when you saw a lot of teams. You just don't see it as much anymore, the way that the playoffs have been restructured. You would see teams get hot near the end of the season, get on a roll, and just rip through the playoffs like almost every year. You know, we saw it with the Giants, saw it with the Steelers, and we saw it with this Packers team. Rodgers was so dialed in. It was a precursor for what they would do the next season in the regular season. And just watching him locked in, dueling with Big Ben, maybe the Steelers win, as a colleague Brian DiArdo pointed out in Slack. Rashard Mendenhall doesn't fumble, Steelers maybe win easily, but Rodgers, some just clutch throws there, and just that period of time for Aaron Rodgers, just had an incredible career. So many MVPs, so many chances at the Super Bowl, didn't work out. But that Super Bowl, you felt like it was like when Mahomes won his first one, he was gonna rip off a bunch and be a problem for a long time, and just an incredible performance by him.
Yeah, I agree with you there. The fact that I'll say about Aaron Rodgers is how dynamic he was at that time. The closest guy we saw throw the football like him was maybe Dan Marino, and he was the precursor to Patrick Mahomes. And to me, that's why I would put Patrick Mahomes ahead of his performance, the one we just saw him against the Philadelphia Eagles, because for all we were told, he had no ankle, right? And then he goes out there and scrambles for like a 40-yard gain. That's like, where did this come from? Everybody else slipping and falling on the field, except this dude who didn't have an ankle 2 quarters ago. So when you see Patrick Mahomes rise in these moments and help them come back to win that game, in a game he got technically outplayed by Jalen Hurts, I would rank him slightly higher than Aaron Rodgers, but I understand why Aaron Rodgers is there, because at that time, he was outstanding.
All right, well, let's see how you feel about number 4 here, Kurt Warner's greatest show on turf. And, guys, it's been interesting when it comes to Kurt Warner, especially with the MVP conversation and how it sort of shook out how it shook out last night with Josh Allen winning the MVP. And there's kind of just been a lot of chatter about whether or not the reasoning behind Josh Allen winning that MVP, it dates back to even Kurt Warner and this leader of this greatest show on turf. Will just kind of walk us through there with Kurt Warner being the leader of that awesome, incredible football team, at least offensively anyways, and why you put it there at number 4.
Yeah, I'll tie it to last night, too. And, put Torrey Holt in the freaking Hall of Fame already.
Please.
By the way, Marshall Faulk, now coaching in Colorado. Torrey Holt should be, through 9 seasons, the only guy who had more receiving yards than him was Jerry Rice. Put Torrey Holt in the Hall of Fame, people. Make it happen already. These wide receivers are being slandered out in these streets. Reggie Wayne should be in there, too. Steve Smith, let's go. But, yeah, Kurt Warner in the greatest show on turf. I'm old, so I remember this. I watched this game in college, I think my freshman year. This team was at NC State, so we were rooting for Torrey Holt, of course. This team game was unbelievable. And remember, Kurt Warner came out of nowhere. I mean, he was bagging groceries, like a couple months before he won Super Bowl MVP and won regular season MVP. This is a really good Titans team that easily could have won the Super Bowl. And I think just the way that they played on defense and how he responded on offense and just the totality of everything, throwing for 414 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, in a time when, passing offenses were starting to get going, but they were much fewer and far between. When you would, like nowadays, again, Nick Foles can go out there and throw for 400 passing yards in the Super Bowl. Back then, it was pretty rare for a guy to come in and do what he did in this spot. And so I give Warner a big time nod and move him high up the list, mostly because I'm old.
Yeah, but people forget, man, and don't undersell the value of playing in the Arena Football League, how that helped Kurt Warner. That's like going from playing in the classroom to playing in the parking lot. So he had more room to get the football out there and found those targets and did a great job in getting everyone involved. He was an outstanding player.
I'm still stuck on the picture that we had of Kurt Warner. What kind of stiff there in that graphic? My goodness. All right, let's wrap up here.
Anyway, it's like golfers in the early 2000s. These guys are out there in like knitted polos. I mean, how are they even functioning out there? I mean, the gear that you have nowadays is so much different. It's crazy.
Yeah, it definitely looks a lot different. That was jarring for me personally to see, but it's good to know that Kurt Warner is still out here making the most of his career, at least on television. Let's wrap this up, gentlemen, by showing some love to the defensive side of the ball here. And Emory, you actually believe that this Von Miller MVP performance, when he just was lights out against the Broncos a few years ago, that this should be above Kurt Warner on Brinson's list. But nonetheless, he checks in here at number 5 and one of the greatest individual defensive performances in Super Bowl history. Am I crazy to say that, Emory?
Not crazy at all, Haley. And what I love about Von Miller, he harkened back memories I had of watching Junior Seau with the San Diego Chargers. Then I used to always think, oh, he's clearly lined up offside. And then he gets to the quarterback like that, but he wasn't. That's how Von Miller looked against Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. First of all, Cam Newton was out there with Philly Brown and Jericho Cotchery. They were in the Super Bowl. That in and of itself is a win for Carolina, no disrespect. But the fact that Von Miller really ended that football game, and that's built on what he did the previous week. So he was on a tear, and this was the outstanding part of the Super Bowl, watching a defensive guy take control. We've seen that before with Lawrence Taylor, and then we saw it here with Von Miller. So I like that Brinson has him this high on his list.
I mean, I'm glad you're on the same page here, because I thought it would be surprising for people to see Von Miller that high. In those 2 games, I mean, he beat Tom Brady and the Patriots in the AFC Championship game, and then and you're right, I mean, it was like the Panthers team had Greg Olsen, Jericho Cotchery, and Philly Brown. They were Ted Ginn. I mean, they weren't very good. In those 2 games, he had 5 sacks, 11 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 6 quarterback hits, and an interception. He was on fire down the stretch in the playoffs, and he really stepped it up against the biggest competition. And I don't think you can, like, the Panthers go and win that game if Von Miller doesn't play against them for Denver. Peyton Manning was toast at that point, and I mean, it stinks because I was a Panthers fan for like 24 hours, like 48 hours or 2 weeks or something like that again. But yeah, Von Miller, unbelievable individual defensive performance. Probably maybe the greatest defensive performance in the Super Bowl by any player.
You were a Panthers fan. You were a Panthers fan just like you were a Falcons fan in that other pick that you had earlier, too. You just bounce it around, Will Brinson, my goodness. What a good list. So much fun always checking in with you guys. I got to touch up on my history there. I want to see some more pictures of Kurt Warner playing football. Guys, thanks so much for coming on Spotlight with us.